Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Schmoedown Respin here on Topical. I am Nate, here as always with Strange Wang.
And today we have a special guest by the name of Bobby Finstock. I'm very excited. This one of my favorite, don't make that face, characters in all the Schmoedown and in life. So after the news, we have an interview set up with him. His timing, he's a very busy man. So we'll get to that after the news.
The news for this week, we have Lord of the Rings match is live on YouTube for everyone to see. A Patreon exclusive match is live on YouTube. I repeat, staying in the Intergeekdom category, we have the Intergeekdom tournament starts on the 4th. And as we learn on backstage, Andrew Demolata is okay with his manager, Bobby Finstock, that we will speak to later in our interview. He is okay with him calling him by the wrong name, adopting the nickname AD, also known as All Day. Also on backstage, we learn you still are not allowed to curse. And when it comes to news, we have more manager news. All the managers still talking shit. Well, everyone in the Schmoedown is talking shit to each other. We learn. Also, we learn when it comes to the will, if the will lands in the middle, like it did in the Ace Cabrera Star Wars match, you will not get to choose what side it is landed on. You have to respin. So in future matches, we have that rule now in place. And last but not least, on Schmoedown Backstage, we had talk about the singles tournament. How many competitors from a faction will enter? Will it be limited? Will it be you can play in the teams tournament, but not the Ultimate Schmoedown singles tournament? No word on that yet, but it's a fun topic to discuss. So, Nate, what do you think about those rules being in place?
Obviously, they're going to have to put some sort of a limit over how many people from each faction can compete in it. And yeah, it's going to hurt some people. I mean, they're going to have...
Especially the Finstock Exchange. They got 5, maybe 6 knockouts.
That are potential winners, you know?
For sure.
So they'll have to pick and choose. They'll have to decide amongst themselves. Or managers, I'm sure, have the ultimate decision. I know Dagnino is trying to be more, vocal with his squad, but not just make decisions.
Something we will ask him later on in the interview.
So, but it also just depends on how big they make it.
Yeah.
If you make it big enough to where every team has enough to throw that many people in there, just to see what happens. I mean, it could be a breakout moment for a lot of people that we didn't know were that great at singles, earn your faction some points or things like that. But ultimately, it'll probably just be down. To keep it even, I would guess it's probably going to be 4 max, maybe even 2.
I was thinking 3. I think that's a good sweet spot.
Well, it just depends
you look at
on
people like Kaiser,
yeah,
who built their thing around Intergeekdom players, and just teams, because you get one good guy, a team guy, and then someone who's slightly less better, you make a decent little team,
Yeah, it's true. So I'm interested to see how it goes for sure. I mean, I want a huge tournament because I mean that's just going to make it all the more interesting. And it seems like this is shaping up to be probably the biggest tournament ever. So I don't really know exactly what the number is going to be, but they obviously are going to have to put some sort of limit on it to make it fair, because you don't want like what happened with the Finstock Exchange and the tournaments they're going on now, where it gets stacked against one individual team or the other.
But that was fixed. A lot of people said online, which I totally agree with, I think you have to lock in players for the teams tournament and the singles. So if you want to, you got to play in one player per tournament. So Ben Bateman, do you have him in the singles tournament that he won last year? Or do you keep him with Riley, who I don't think they won, but they came very close to winning.
Right.
Or they did win. I know he's a 2-time winner in that. I believe he did. So, do you put him with Riley and then save your spots for a Barbarian, a Roka, or Merle?
Right.
If he's still the champion by this time. But, as you said, the bigger the better. I think if you put the gimmick of the biggest Ultimate Schmoedown ever, I think that's a huge selling point.
Yeah, agreed.
It makes all these little matches mean so much more. So, I'm very okay with that as well. How do you feel about if they did limit, as a bunch of people have been saying, you have to play in one or the other? So a team player can't play in the singles and vice versa. How do you feel about that?
That's rough. I mean, that limits a lot of teams. I mean, I don't want to, only biasly talk about the Finstock Exchange, but I feel like they're the ones that hurts the most, because I mean, you want Dan and John to play in this teams tournament. But
They're the champions. They don't need to.
well, that's true. But like,
And Dan's the singles champion, so it kind of helps them because
yeah, that does show they don't have to make a decision there. But so it's like
it really comes down to Sabrina, Riley, Ward.
that actually helps a little bit because Roca needs to be in the singles. Okay, because it's
That's the one he can play
teams
in.
is a moot point. So I don't know. I mean, it's just tough. They're going to have to make some tough decisions, and I think that this could be a make or break moment deciding manager of the year.
And who's going to resign him
Because this
too?
this goes deeper than just how you manage within a game. It's like when it came down to where you had to make decisions of who was going to play when and who was going to play where and who's going to play with who and all that stuff. I mean, those decisions are ultimately going to decide the outcome of the tournament.
Right now, we have the Finstock interview coming up. He should be calling in any second now, or we will call him. So, usually it's a one-person interview. Today is two because he thinks this will turn into a podcast if we just put Finstock and Strange Wang on the microphone. So, we're going to call Finstock right now. Show's going pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Christian talked about it. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see
That was
that.
great.
That was great.
You think I would smoke one of these before he gets on?
No, Black and Milds take a little longer to smoke than other things.
Maybe his phone's on silent or something. I'm gonna call him. I'll call.
I told you he was unreliable, man.
And then 3 hours later, meme. That was just so. In vintage Finstock fashion, he didn't pick up. He told us what time he would be available. He's very busy. Something probably came up, but we will get on to the match analysis now.
So this week we had Sean Sullivan, who is a 1-0 in the Star Wars division, representing the Den, versus Laura Kelly, who's 1-2 in Star Wars, representing Corruption. Corruption definitely not having the year they were expecting. But the Inner Geek tournament is coming. They have Kalinowski in there and some other guy, I think. So that'll be their chance. But today, Laura, round 1, has the perfect round, ends up hitting the bonus question as well. Sean does very well in round 1. He gets 9 points out of 10, and really only because he forgot the on the end of John Ratzenberger's name. So, keep trying.
That's the way life goes.
So 11-9, Laura Kelly leads going into round 2. She chooses to spin first. She hits Return of the Jedi and decides to keep it. Goes perfect in round 2. Has to check to multiple choice once, but still gets all of her questions. No steals given up. So it's 20-9. Kelly going into Sean's spin. Sean goes for his spin, lands on Phantom Menace. First spin, decides to keep it. And he, exact same thing. 9 points, perfect. Doesn't miss a single thing. But Laura Kelly, absolutely perfect through round 1 and 2. Now, obviously debate on what a perfect game is. She did have to check to multiple choice that one time, but she has not missed a single question. What do you think about her performance so far?
No, I have, and you can hide up there, Star Wars video, prediction tournament thing we went over. I have her going all the way. So right at this point, I'm very happy because Bobby Finstock is calling. We got to answer this, right?
I guess we don't have much of a choice.
Alrighty. Gucci, what's going on, man?
Wayne, what's up, guy?
Finstock, you are kind of interrupting, the middle of my match analysis, but we are happy to have you on the show. How are things going?
Well, let's just say I'm Gucci.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today the manager of the Finstock Exchange, multi-time manager of the year, the Schmoedown Enigma, the one and only Bob Finstock.
Poof.
Bobby, we were talking earlier in the show about the possibility of managers having to choose specific players to only play in the teams tournament or only play in the singles tournament and not be able to cross-compete. What are you going to do about that if that is the case?
Well, I mean, we're not at the singles tournament yet, so there's that.
All right. Well, with more managers coming into the league, it inevitably creates more competition for that coveted manager of the year spot. Do you still think that's a lock for you?
Does an overweight white woman who works a graveyard shift at a truck stop date an unemployed black guy?
In a bizarre world, we get kind of like a Brandon Hanna situation where either you don't win the faction wars or you don't sign someone to a tournament that they want to be in because your roster's so stacked because the Fin Stock Exchange is the best faction in the league. And they don't want to re-sign with you at the end of the year as one of your 4 or 3 signees. We haven't learned yet. Will you feel betrayed by that?
Well, let me tell you. I was doing this video shoot for the rapper with the rainbow hair. What's his name? I don't know, the 6ix9ine guy with all the 6ix9ines tattooed on him. I was doing this video shoot at this mansion they rented out. It was Lee Mazzilli's mansion beforehand, and his baby mama came up to me and was like, "I've never seen such defined toned ankles in my life. It's incredible." I was like, obviously, because I have a whole day dedicated to ankle workouts that have defined ankles because everyone sees the ankles. Shorts, pants, it doesn't matter. Your ankles will always show. So you got to have good ankles. But I told her, I was like, I got swimmer's legs, you know? Like, and in Thailand, actually, they call me calfzilla. But I told her, I was like, your boyfriend's a loser, 1. Second off, his LB's off the charts, which means his LB's rubbing off on you. So how about we go in Lee Mazzilli's mansion, and I'll show you the rest of my legs. And obviously she was down for it. And he may have rainbow hair. She had, at that time she had a rainbow bush. Big fan of the bush, but yeah, that's what I call betrayal.
What does that have to do with the Schmoedown?
This shows about the Schmoedown?
Yes, it's called the Schmoedown Respin. It was in the email I sent you.
I thought this was an interview for Penthouse or something.
No. Does Penthouse even still... Never mind.
Better question than ones you've asked so far. When am I going to be on Ask Gucci? I know we was texting about it earlier this week.
That
Very
doesn't
excited.
have anything to do with the Schmoedown either.
Well, Lil Bobby and Juice is dropping soon, so we just gonna get you on there for your reaction, your thoughts, because you're such a big fan of the show. I mean, your analysis on Lil Bobby and Juice is incredible stuff. I mean, there's a lot of reaction channels like The Real Rejects, but man, those guys ain't got nothing on you. You're Strange Wayne. You're the best.
So while I have you on the horn, I have another question for you. I have the next big thing for the Finstock Initiative. Your YouTube channel, Strange Wayne, Bobby Finstock, Strange merchandise. And I'm in the middle of a pitch and a show.
Got dead weight. It's gonna be incredible. So it's you and I, obviously, and I pick out 3 strange pieces of merchandise from stuff you like. Maybe get some Mets merchandise in there, some Ric Flair merchandise, or old wrestling merchandise, Seinfeld merchandise, strange merchandise. I'm Strange Wayne. You know it's gonna be some weird shit. What do you think? You know that is fantastic. I haven't heard an idea that good since Kramer's coffee table book of coffee tables. You know, I got a story about that. I've actually held it once.
The Real McCoy?
Yeah, like this thing's legit.
Who?
Sly's brother, Frank fucking. Can we curse on the show? All right, Frank Stallone.
Well, I gotta know the story.
Well, I had this bar over in Harvard Heights. You know, I go in there all the time. Everyone knows me. I walk in, drinks at the table already. You know, usually that place is loaded with fine chicks, but on this day, I walk in. There's nothing but, I would say, like a 3 ratio across the room when it comes to broads. And Frank Stallone. And I asked the bartender, I was like, how long has he been here? Well, he's been here long enough to have 37 vodka cranberries. I'm like, holy cow. Around that time, he sees me, comes over, he's like, man, this place ain't it. I want to take you where we can get some chicks. And when Frank Stallone asks you to go pick up chicks with him, I mean, you do. So me and him hop in his Bronco. He pulls up to the soccer field, 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. And I tell you, this guy, he starts singing Far From Over out of his Bronco window to the soccer field. And 6 soccer moms come and hop in the fucking Bronco with us. So we take him back to his place. This guy is insane. He's still got, he's driving 35 cranberry vodkas deep. And this guy, get back to this place, he's got shag carpet still. And one thing leads to another. We divide the soccer moms, and he's doing coke off soccer moms' bare asses, and me, I'm doing my thing. I look over at his coffee table, and he has the coffee table book of coffee tables. And this guy, man, I opened it up because I was like, I don't care about soccer moms. This is from Seinfeld. So I open it up, and he has a photo with him and Larry David and Kramer on the set of Seinfeld. Crazy stuff.
All right, Gucci, or whoever you are this week. Thanks for coming. Back to our match analysis.
You know, I don't know what you're pulling here. Me and him were having a great conversation. We're trying to work out details for the show that would do my career wonders, which means you can ride my coattails and make your career something too.
Round 3. In round 3, Sean, down 2 points, has to hit his 2-pointer first. His is in the category of Who Said It. He pulls it after using a JTE rule, sends it back to Laura. So Laura, for her 2-pointer, has it in the category of the Clone Wars film. She quickly nails hers as well. Back to Sean, who has to hit his round 3 now. I hate everything.
See, if you would have let me talk to Finstock, you wouldn't be so frustrated right now. We had a great show.
Back to Sean for his 3-pointer, and it's in the category of villains, and he misses it. He fails to hit the 3-pointer. So it's down to this. He has to hit his 5-point question to stay in the match, and without any further JTE rules to think about it, he misses. And Laura Kelly is the winner. But to be honest, the real story here, Laura Kelly just had a perfect match in terms of not missing any questions.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have picked her to be in the finals in my bracket if I didn't think she was capable of it. But I tell you, I'm not a fan of the manager thing. I've said it in the past if you watched the Schmoedown Respin before. This match turned in the favor of that a little bit. So Laura Kelly, she had the queen of corruption rub off on her a little bit. She was talking smack. She played a heel, and I don't know what that face was. You're perfect, probably. But it rubbed off a little bit, and she was talking trash. She had character. In some of those Inner Geekdom matches in the past, and Star Wars matches in the past, it was just them having fun, come out in their Captain America uniform or whatever. Here's my Batman shirt. Let's have a good game. I don't want to see that. I want to see John Rocco's. I want to see Finstock's. I want to see Bateman's, guys, people with character. She had character. She had attitude. I want to see more people like Laura Kelly learn from their managers and play along with their manager to add to their character to make these matches more fun. Don't take away from the studying, because the matches are great. We don't have matches like these because the studying is on a whole nother level because I know the movies. But the character work in this, the promos before I watched because I had fun during it.
Yeah.
I was more invested in this match than any other Star Wars match, maybe Inner Geekdom match, because of the character.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. It was an incredibly entertaining match to watch, and Laura kind of growing into a more character than she has been in the past was a huge part of that. And on top of that, corruption finally picks up some much needed points in the faction war.
And blocks the Den from being in the number 2 spot that they obviously want to be, because you can't be number 1 without being number 2 or getting to that place. But that's the Schmoedown Respin. Tell us what you think about this week's episode down in the comment section below. I know it was the best interview ever before someone interrupted it. But like, comment, share, and subscribe.